Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeah, I'm back. Back in the conversation, back in the talks about relationships. I am back. My bad. Sorry about the interruption. But yeah, I'm back in the conversation. Uh this is my new channel. One of my new channels. I got another new channel that's gonna start also this week. Uh but here I want to talk about you know, marriage, divorce, breakups and all those things, that I was talking about on my original channel, Concur Network. A lot of y'all know me from there as bruizzr. I pivoted into the style chief, and I felt bad about a lot of my audience, and just pretty much vacating the the content that I was giving to them, and I wanted to give them another platform to receive that similar content. Not exactly as toxic it was before, but pretty much along the same lines of material that I was presenting on Concur Network as Bruiser before I pivoted into the Style Chief. So this will be the platform for all that stuff, and the very first live stream is about Goldie Hawn. So check it out, man. Goldie Hawn. A lot of y'all don't know her. She's an actor. Kurt Russell is also an actor. Both of them are very, very good at what they do. At the ripe age of 77, they spilled the beans, while chatting when it's CNN's Chris Wallace, about why she and Kurt Russell, her partner for 40 years, never took that walk down the aisle. They never took the walk down the aisle, never planned to get married. And in her words, she said, why we got to get hitched when we've both been through, messy divorces already. She just straight up talked about the bad stuff that comes with divorces, like the money mess, emotional wreck, and how it can be a mess or some damage to the kids. You know, she made it clear that being independent is what keep their love strong, and that surprised me. Uh, she loves having the freedom to make decisions on a daily basis, and thinks relationships can be tough. But it's important to hold on to your own uh, identity and thoughts. Those are her words. Then in another interview that I saw, her daughter, Kate Hudson, she got three different baby daddies in three different relationships. She gave a shout out to her mom for teaching her the importance of positive co-parenting. She's all about not, bad mouthing her exes in front of the kids because that can mess them up. And Kate knows that, kids are smart and they'll figure out, they'll be able to form their own opinions and they'll figure things out as time goes on. But I'm gonna play a clip of the interview that I saw on CNN so y'all can see it for yourselves if y'all don't believe me.
Why should we get married?
Question I have, which people have been asking for more than 40 years, we're going to get into it. Why aren't the two of you married?
Why should we get married? Isn't that a better question?
Well, I suppose. But why aren't you married?
Because we had been married, and because when it doesn't work out, it ends up to be big business. Somebody has to own something. It's always ugly. Somebody has to, actually take a look and say, how many?
I should say fair use. You know how they try to strike videos down.
How many divorces are fun? How many divorces actually
None I've ever
don't
heard.
cost money? How many divorces make you even hate the person more than you did before? How many divorces have hurt children?
But you've been together 40 years, you're not going to get divorced.
Well, how did you know that then?
Well, I suppose that's a good question.
I like the idea that I could wake up in the morning and make decisions.
Sort of every day you're making the choice, do I want to...
Yeah, I mean, relationships are hard. They're not always easy. There's all kinds of hurdles that we go through. There's things that we believe in, things that we don't believe in, we agree on. So I think, ultimately staying independent with independent thinking is important so you can hold on to yourself and you can actually have that feeling.
So basically, after listening to this article, or after reading this article and then listening to that interview, there's about 5 questions that need answered for me and maybe for you. Let's start with the first question. But the article I wrote, I read it on the Insider, so you could check it out. I was shocked that they went 40 years. I mean, 40. Can you imagine that 40 years? It kind of makes you scared to get married. You know, you might think the dynamics might change, or you might be forced into a specific role. Um, but it's not even that. It's just being fear. I mean, they're pretty much afraid of what happened. They're traumatized, and they were never able to get past their trauma. So the first question I want to, answer, and if y'all can answer along with me, is why would a couple not get married after being together for decades? Why would they not get married after being together for decades? I mean, I don't I don't understand it. That's a long time. I can see maybe a year or two. Yeah, I've seen engagements take that long, but uh, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you know, it's just mind-boggling to me. But if the two couples are dating, you know, and both have been through the divorce, from what I'm learning from what I'm reading, if both of them are dating and they both been through a divorce or a relationship failure, they may be compelled to not want to get into another marriage because of the stress divorcing has put on their children and the financial challenges during the process. So shout out to Lady Di for pulling up. But this relationship dynamic may not work for most couples because in this situation, both parties are financially independent and do not necessarily need the other person for support. They're both famous. They had a really, really great acting career. Y'all know who Kurt Russell is? Check him out. And Goldie Hawn. These people are famous and successful. So again, why would a couple not get married after being together for decades? Both couples came from either a breakup or divorce. This is a possibility. Both couples came from a breakup or divorce, so they are financially and emotionally spooked from walking down the aisle again. They both may be independent because of their career success, and either a portion of their money is tied up in paying spousal support to their ex, or they're receiving spousal support from their ex, and they can't either afford to deal with a second divorce, or if they are receiving spousal support, that they know if they were to remarry, and they wouldn't receive any further payments from their exes. I've had a conversation with a woman who was receiving alimony, and she's been with her partner for 7 years. She don't want to get married because the money she's getting from her ex for alimony is just too much to let go. And she don't want to run the risk of her future marriage with this guy she's with. Uh, take away that benefit. It's almost like being in the military and getting out and being a veteran, and you start receiving your disability checks, but you find out that you want to go back in and serve. During the process, the recruiting process, you have to relinquish any of your disability benefits, and if the process goes wrong, you can't claim those same injuries. So you're taking a risk. Now you got to ask yourself, is the risk worth it? Worth it? But in her words, she said, it's big business. I, for one, believe that. I see it all the time. It's big business. I think Kevin Costner got hit with $125K a month for child support. So these divorces, and they can end up ugly, and there's a lot of money that's going to be tied up in it. So I kind of understand Goldie Hawn from this, and I was all about marriage. Like, I've been all about marriage, but whenever I hear certain stories, it's interesting on how people are able to still love each other and stay together and not necessarily succumb to the norm of getting married. And they don't feel bad about it. And I think their relationship is just as good as anybody else's relationship who's been married for 40 years. I would say. So for me, I mean, women, if you're highly successful and financially independent, and you want to have one foot in the relationship and one foot out of the relationship, don't be surprised if your children grow up to mimic the same relationship behaviors. It'll make your sons become womanizers and deadbeats, and your daughters to become single moms with multiple baby fathers. That's the negative side to it. So you gotta see, you gotta weigh the risk. Are you willing to deal with that? At what cost is it? At what cost is your behavior as a parent gonna translate into your kid's life? You know, what costs are you willing to accept? And the second question, after reading this article, and y'all can answer this for me if y'all want to. You know, how does past divorces influence your marriage in the future? And I have to say, I have been divorced. Uh, but for me, the distance between my divorce and my new marriage was, it was 6 years. So I think I had enough time to be able to reinvent my mentality, you know, prepare myself to be able to love again and embrace a new relationship dynamic. But for y'all, if y'all ever been divorced or married, let me know. Like, you know, how does past divorce influence your marriage in the future? And I know it can be financially, emotionally, physically, all these other things. So, what up, Terry Smith? What up, Harmon? What's good? You should call me Darwin. Y'all can call. And listen, if y'all know me by bruizzr, hey, that's a benefit for you, because on this channel, I'm not gonna really push that name. I'm just trying to embrace my actual name, and try to see if I can build a new audience, something that people can spell. And to my luck, Darwin may not even be as easy to spell as bruizzr, because every time somebody try to spell my name, they spell it Darwin when it's actually spelled Darwyn. So yeah. So I'm gonna ask you again, how does past divorce influence your marriage in the future? Well, it's highly likely to be some sort of mental conditioning, or sense of being institutionalized. That's the word. And it's where, to the point where a person can embrace ingrained patterns of behavior or customs from previous relationship dynamics that may not wear off and potentially bleed into future relationships. You know, there can also be this fear of repeating failure that stems from the trauma caused by the previous marriage, indicating that the person has yet to overcome their past. And this makes them liable to repeat the negative behavior or anticipate negative behavior in the future marriage. Divorces are not always clean and cut. I'm telling you, I may not have been through the battle and the fight in the courtrooms, but from what I've read and what I've seen and what I've witnessed, it's not always clean and cut and dry. And there's a high chance that people carry trauma, financial obligations, and sexual fetishes from one marriage to another. Hey, don't act like y'all don't know what I mean. I mean, let's just keep it real. When we talk about sexual fetishes, you know, some of the things you did with your previous partner may have just been it's just that one area that was just amazing, and it ain't got to be necessarily sex. And a lot of times people try to tend to push that on their new partner because they want those same things. They might not want the same person, but they like the things they were doing when they did do those things. So they want them things. So they have a conditioned mindset for the things that fetish and the things that satisfy them in sheets. So that's a danger. So again, how does past divorce influence your marriage in the future? Well, in the worst case, you may be sprung off of what you used to get in the sheets, making it difficult to adjust to what's lacking in the future marriage. And if your partner requires 50-50 contribution to the household, and a portion of your finances is tied up in spousal support, and it's a high chance that you'll have financial issues in the future marriage. So instead of taking those chances, hold out on walking down the aisle until you're able to remove the mental, sexual and financial burdens from the previous relationship. And when I was reading this article, I had another question. It is, and y'all can answer it. What up, JR? What's up, Lapeef? Network in the building. How does talking about your ex in a new relationship impact children? This is important because, I really, really care about the children. I have a 1-year-old, and next week I have a newborn. So, and that is the reason why I had to step away from live streaming and the things I used to do. I figured out, okay, since I got to put more time into my family and preparing for this newborn, maybe this would be the best time to pivot. So, how does talking about your ex in a new relationship impact children? So, this is more like a question for people who probably have blended families or something like that. I remember when I was a kid, me and my siblings and cousins, we used to listen to our mothers talk crap about our fathers. We weren't smart enough to be able to understand why they were so hateful, and how all the drugs and cheating pretty much ran their men away. So without knowing any better, we believe our fathers were every bit of ugly that, they spewed out of their mouths. This caused us to hate our fathers because our mothers hated our fathers, which in turn made us hate ourselves because we looked like our fathers. And we wanted to be around our fathers. We just couldn't because, they made it so difficult for our fathers to be around us. They made it very, very hard. I remember. I'll never forget. But when we grew up and, we found out the truth. We found the truth out. And then we began to hate our mothers and forgive our fathers when all they had to do was keep the negative talk to themselves. We didn't need to know about that. So that also had a psychological toll. It was traumatic just hearing those things said about it. So in short, for you, you just heard it from me. But how does talking about your ex in a new relationship impact children's behavior? So it's highly likely that when you bring up your ex around your new partner, chances are you won't have anything positive to say. Come on now, let's be real. You want to give the illusion that you're over your ex. And a common way to convince the new partner is to express how much you hate your ex. The downside is your partner may see it as a lack of accountability on your end because your kids are around and could possibly form their own opinions. And also, if your current relationship were to not work out, you'd also speak hatred about them in their absence. That's just how the game go. And what up, JR? I'm gonna have to pull up on a Sunday panel or something like that, man, because I gotta get back into because I'm a little I'm a little rusty from being off a live stream, so I gotta get back into it. And JR is the one that always pushed me to try to be the best I could. So yeah, Lady Di, that's true. So don't talk about your baby daddy. Don't talk about him. Hold on, did I put your business? I hope I ain't put your business out. So let's get to the next question. Next question. And I appreciate y'all sticking with me so far. Since we're talking about blended families, when I was reading this article, I read something about blended families. Y'all can check out the article. Blended families. Do y'all know any tip? Do any of y'all know any tips for children from different relationships? That's the question. some of y'all are able to do it well and create that chemistry. Um, I lived with my cousins, you know, so we was always a blended family. You know, one of our mothers always picked up the mothers or aunties always switch hands or transfer the kids from one house to another. So we got got used to it. We got real close. But just last year, I took custody of my nephew so that he could have a better life, graduate, and go to the military. He's 17 years old. I have two children of my own. As of next week, I'll have two children of my own, a newborn and a 1-year-old. But what I'm gonna do, and what I tend to do is, I make sure all the children are treated equally, as if all of the kids are mine. Showing favoritism or elevating biological kids over other kids will make them form their own opinion about their own significance to the family. So they might feel less than. They might feel like they're don't mean much to you as your own kids. I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to have that. You want everybody to feel like they want it. So that's how I would have felt if I was a kid. But you got to treat all the children with the same amount of love and care. That's the only tips I can give you. Now, I got him when he was 16, so I kind of really didn't get to feel the whole brunt to it, and that's the reason why I posed the question to y'all. How do y'all do it? What's up, humble dad? Appreciate you showing up. But you got to address relationship difficulties. Terica Smith, applaud you, King Boys need a black man. Yeah, we do. We do. So my next question is, do y'all have any steps or do y'all have any ways, and this is for people who are in relationships or marriage, do you have any ways? Hold on, Humble Dad says, have you read His Marriage for White People? No, but send me the link on Instagram and I'll check it out. That's what? That's a question. It's Marriage for White People. You know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna read it first, but I kind of can get an idea of why somebody would have made a book, and I kind of can get an idea of what's in there. But what are some steps to address relationship difficulties in divorce? How do y'all do it? How do y'all address the difficulties and avoid divorce? Correction. So the way I address relationship difficulties, and I would give you a tip. This is a tip I would give to you. You got to speak up. Speak up. Speak clear about the problems or challenges you are experiencing with your partner. Stop expecting your partner to have psychic abilities when it comes to knowing that, there is an issue and something is wrong with you. Communication is important. And sometimes we need to be reminded that it is, and it's not something you suspend when you think a person should have intuition about what's going on. So you got to speak up and be clear. I don't know if men do that much, but I really, in my experience dating women, women always think that you're supposed to just know what's going on. And I think they actually get a kick out whenever you can just figure things out. So now when it comes to avoiding divorce, I will say this: in my first marriage, I wasn't really educated in this area. I don't think I even had any concern for it either. I was young. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think it would even happen. And I would say most people who get in marriage don't even really, well, probably nowadays they do, since it's been all over social media how divorce is bad. But back when I got married the first time, it really wasn't. Everybody was just thought it was a sure thing, nothing could go wrong. And everybody around you was giving you that same energy. And I think that energy is needed. But I think we do got to be optimistic, and we have to understand that a lot of things don't always work out. And this is a tip that I'll give you to ensure that. It's communication before expectation. And I think Terry Smith said that's called unspoken expectation. That's true. I'm gonna make sure I write down that word. That might be a keyword if I could use it in a future video. But communication before expectation is a tip. Um, it's crucial to communicate your expectations and inquire about your partner's expectations before progressing too far into the dating process. And that's something I didn't do, but I made sure I did it on this go around. You want to make sure that everybody knows what they get into and what they expect out of the partner, because you might be surprised if you actually sit down and have this conversation. Your partner may be willing to let you know, exactly what it is that they want from you, and you'll be able to make your decision whether you want to continue on with them or you want to bow out. Imagine how many relationships started and they found out that, hey, look, well, I didn't know you wanted me to do this. And I don't know if men do this much, but I have seen women try to change a man. They try to change a man into a different person, but he was never initially showcasing these abilities or these attributes that you desired your man or your husband to be. So what you do is you try to mold this man into this person. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the likes, y'all. And dating trauma, man, dating trauma should be respected and appreciated. You need to be aware and understand that trauma behind dating multiple partners. You also need to understand that moving on from a long-term relationship take time. So you need to understand that there's trauma behind dating multiple partners. And guys, if you if you don't do these things, your tendencies, preferences, and issues, it'll bleed into your next relationship, causing incompatibility. So make sure you're ready to date before you mate. Make sure you can heal your trauma. Make sure you can take the necessary time you need to get through your past relationship, because you don't want to take that into the next relationship. It's not fair for the other person. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I was able to get this stream under 30 minutes. I'm not going to be long. I mean, I actually want to be under an hour every time. The streams are going to get longer, obviously. But in conclusion, I do have time to answer a few questions. If you guys want to come up, one at a time, I want to try to do this as a one for the aesthetics of the show. I want to do one-on-one conversations on this channel, not like a full panel. I don't want to try to go that route. I'm trying to be a little bit different, So if anybody have a question about what we just talked about, feel free to hit the link. I'll drop the link in the chat. Just make sure your camera is on and your lighting is good and your audio. What happened? You changed. Somebody said, what happened? You changed. And that could be a good question. If you want to come in and ask that question, I'll tell you. I'll talk to you about it. But yeah, this stream was successful. I want to personally thank everybody who showed up. I put the link out to a number of people, to the people I think that, I thought that would or have the time to show up. So I want to thank everybody who stuck with me to the end. This is one of my new channels. And here's where I can reestablish my presence in the relationship niche or conversation. But y'all make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all comment. If you can't come up and ask questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll make sure I respond. And make sure y'all subscribe. And let's grow this community together. Let's grow this channel together. I want y'all to follow my Instagram. I put in the description. Some of y'all got the old Instagram, but if y'all want to help me get my other Instagram up, go ahead and follow there. And that's when y'all can send me topic ideas. That y'all want to have a conversation about. So, Lady Di, I subscribed 4 times. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Lady Di, man. Lady Di is like my little sister. Hold on, am I older than you or are you older than me? I don't know. But she's a sister to me. So I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'm gonna try to go live again tomorrow, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna trim the heck out this video up into multiple clips and shorts. So it'll give, it'll make things easier for people to come back and catch, some of the segments, and they won't have to be forced to watch the entire stream if they don't have the time. I noticed that whenever I subscribe to certain people and they go live, some of their streams will be an hour, 2 hour long, and I'm like, yeah, I want to watch it, but I just want to get to certain points that I'm really interested in. So all of the questions I had, I'm gonna break those up into segments and put those in their own individual videos. And if possible, I'll make them into their own shorts. That way y'all can catch up on everything without having to go and watch the whole stream. But appreciate y'all pulling up. Terica, was it Harmon, JR, Lady Di. We got Lapeef JR in the building. Humble Dad. I think I said Humble Dad. I appreciate y'all. And we got 7 other people watching. Appreciate y'all all coming. She said she's younger. Yeah, you younger. I hope the audio was good. Was the audio and the video good? I hope the audio and the video was good. I've been trying to work on that, as y'all can see. Might give y'all a tour of the studio update. I've been working since I ain't been doing the videos. I have been able to spend more time in making sure the quality of the video and the quality of the audio was A1. So all right. So Humble Dad, now I'm back. JR, now I'm back. Lady Down, now I'm back. Y'all feel free to send me those links if y'all want me to be on y'all show and collab. Most definitely have gotten back into the conversation now. So I will see y'all on the next one. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed week. Love y'all, man.